Hi, I'm Caleb Smith, and today I'll be talking about the air in your home and how to purify it. When you talk about the air in your home, there's a lot of things that homeowners, they don't understand. And to them, it's just say you'll get a filter every 6 months and put another one in there. What I'm going to talk about today is a few different products that can purify the air in your home, and also a little bit of background knowledge on what it actually means when you go to the grocery store and pick out a filter. Not everybody has to put in a $1,000 system to purify the air in their home. They can get a good filter and change it regularly. But for people who have allergies or pets, they're dealing with dander, a lot of pet hair, they got big dogs. There are certain systems they can put in to really help that out and make it where they can breathe easier and reduce the dust in their homes. And so what I'll first talk about is this filter here. As you can see, it's a lot bigger than what you can pick up at the grocery store. When you go to the grocery store, you see just a 1-inch filter. Those 1-inch filters, they're great as long as they're changed out, about every 30 days, because they're a low MERV rating. Now, when I say MERV rating, what I'm talking about is the particle size they're able to picking up. And the MERV rating is a minimum efficiency reporting value of a filter. And so there's 4 different categories. Low is MERV rating 1 to 4, and those are like fiberglass filters, your standard throwaways, 1-month filters. You have to change them out all the time. The second MERV rating is a 4 to 7, and that is when you start getting into flat panel furnace filters, pleated extended surface filters. You're still not talking about this one, but it's the ones that you see in the grocery store like the 3M, Arm & Hammer 1-inch filters. Now, when we talk about this one, we're going from 7 to 13 on the MERV rating. And this is when you start getting into mechanical air cleaners. And now a mechanical air cleaner is a 4 to 5-inch filter. As you see, it's got very extended pleats on it. They're very deep. They capture lots of things, and they not only do they capture large particles, small particles, they do it without restricting the airflow. Airflow is crucial in a heating air system because that is how they cool the air in your home. They can't move enough air, they can't cool the air in your home. And so when these things are working, they have these little wet particles inside them, wet fibers. The particles collide with fibers, but the rest of the air is able to go through freely. That is a huge advantage when you're talking about dusty homes, because when you have a really dusty home, you can't depend on one of those little dinky filters to effectively work, because what happens is they get clogged up, they slow the airflow, and then it costs more for you to run your equipment. When you put it in a high efficiency filter, it's exactly what it says, it's high efficient. It catches the particles without slowing the airflow, and it doesn't run up your bill when you're running an air conditioner. Now, this is just one of the options here. This is the most cost effective because it's the cheapest. And you only have to change the filter every 6 months to a year. And so these filters normally run about around $40 per filter. The system installed is somewhere around $400. Now, that is a big upfront cost, but when you look at it as a $40 filter that lasts you a year, it's about the same, and it works a lot better. The next system I'll talk about is a electronic air cleaner. Now, electronic air cleaners, they take the place of immediate air cleaners, filters in the system, and they have 2 filters, a pre-filter and a post-filter. And then in between that, they have these electronic plates and these little wires. And when these little wires run down before these plates, they actually emit ions into the air, and they charge particles. Now, the plates in front of those are what we call collector plates. Everything that passes through those wires is charged, positive or negative, depending on what it catches. And then based on that charge, they collect those plates there, static electricity, basically. When you rub a balloon, stick it to your air, it pulls it up, it's the same concept. It's just doing that to invisible particles in the air. So little organisms, bacteria, viruses, they'll stick to those plates, and then you take out those plates about every half a year, put them in the dishwasher, and it's really simple to clean them. You just run the cycle and put it back in there, you're good to go. But the pre-filter catches all large particles that this would be responsible for. And so that pre-filter, you're going to wash it a lot more often. You'll pull it out, clean it up, put it back in there, and then when you see that your plates are getting dirty, it's time to change them out, because water smoothing is invisible to the naked eye particles. So once you start getting a lot of buildup, you've got a lot of particles you collected on there. It's time to clean it up because it's not working effectively. Now, as an option with these mechanical air cleaners, is a lot of times they'll have a post filter, and you can't clean it That's what drives the cost up on electronic air cleaners, is the post filter. Because they come from the factory with a charged surface. If you wash that, you neutralize the charge and it doesn't work anymore, so it's pointless. That's another spot after the collector plates to pick up more fine particles. Electronic air cleaners are great for people who have really bad allergies. If it's pet dander, pollens, anything outside and airborne. The only downside to electronic air cleaner is that it creates ozone. So if you know anybody in the household is sensitive to ozone, it's not for them, because it will react with their allergies. And so you got the pet dander out, but they're allergic to ozone, so what was the point? They're still going to be suffering. And this is just a sales slip on an electronic air cleaner, and all of this information is from the Honeywell actual air cleaner manual that I've got in my hand here. The next system I'd like to talk about is it's really small. It's a Global Plasma Solutions, GPS 2400. This thing, looking at it, you wouldn't think it was $450 to install, but it is. And this is the best air cleaner on the market, and this is all it is right here. This technology is new to homes. It's in all major hospitals. Actually, with their sales slip, they've got it in markets in this area. Clemson University uses it. This university may actually use it. It's not on the list. Baylor University uses it. The United States Army, Marine Corps. They're in some Tanner hospitals. This right here, what it does is it's basically the same thing as electronic air cleaner, just without the collector plates. This emits ions to beautiful ionization into the air, and it charges particles as they pass through the airstream. Now, once the particles are charged, they'll stick to things like glass and the desks, the ductwork, doors, anything. As soon as it hits the surface, it settles. And what it'll also do is charge the particles, and they'll stick to each other and settle faster. But the main advantage to this is not just that it ionizes the air with charging particles, is that actually when these ions are emitted into the space and the free air, they attach to gases in the air, any type of viruses, bacteria, and actually neutralize and kill things like staph, C. diff, streptococcus, any type of cold virus, things like that. That's why they're great in hospitals, because actually they've done studies in a room not much bigger than this. In 15 minutes of this being put into space, it will kill 96.6% of all the viruses in the room. And so if you have a home and you've got little small children, if you've got quite a few kids, they can pick up a lot of germs. They pick up things every time they go out because they're constantly touching. So they bring that back to your house. And then, there's no way you can go around with Lysol and clean all the doorknobs, all the surfaces and things like that. And you can put one of these in, and it will take care of all of that. Let's say you're cooking something at home that really stinks, like fish or bacon on the weekends. This right here, not only does it take care of viruses, and things in the air, it also takes care of odors. We have this, we test all these things before we put them out in the field. And when they sold us to this, we thought there's no way this thing, the little black box, there's no way it does that. We work out of an old gas station. That's what we bought in the early 90s. And it's an old building, so it always has that old building smell. We put this in, and within 2 days, when we walk in the door, it's a pleasant, nice smell. A lot of people say it smells like a rain shower. So every time you walk into your home, you smell like a nice rain shower. And so whenever, if you got company coming over and you're cooking things for a party, don't worry about it, because if you had this within a few hours, whatever you were cooking, it's going to be undetectable. They are really great. There's a little maintenance that has to be done to these. Actually, just every few months, these little brushes on there, if you'll just take with your finger and wipe them off, that's all there is to it. No service. The only way that you can tell it's working is if you go to it and the green light's on and it's plugged in, it's working. That's all there is to it. Of course, you still need a filter in the system. So actually what we recommend is putting in that Global Plasma Solution with a mechanical air cleaner. So that way the particles in the air will actually be caught by that filter, so it's not just going everywhere. Because it all eventually will end up back on the filter because the air is always moving in your home. And so basically what we've gone through today is filters in your home. Now you have a general idea of what they actually mean when you're going to buy one with the MERV ratings. You want to get one that you can get from a regular grocery store that's not one of those low rating MERVs, 1 to 4, because they're not that great. With a 1-inch filter, you would only want to go up to about a MERV 8, and that will be effective. It won't cut the air in your house. And so now, if you don't get any of this stuff, at least when you go to the grocery store, you'll know to get a decent filter and to change it out often. But if you need something further, you can always pick up one of these products. Most all HVAC contractors, they have these same things. If they don't, they can get them. Mechanical air cleaner, it lasts forever. There is no replacement on it. You just replace the filters. This plasma solution has a 3-year warranty. We don't have any long-term trials with it yet, but so far it's been almost a miracle product. So hopefully that won't be, plagued with 1-year failures and things like that. But we'll find out as it goes on. Electronic air cleaners, they usually last about 10 to 15 years if they're maintained properly. Of course, within 10 to 15 years of buying that post filter, it can add up to a lot of money in maintenance. A lot of people, they don't replace the post filters. But other than that, I feel like now everybody should have a general knowledge of what to look for. And that pretty much wraps it up.